In today's video, I want to talk about my experience with DeWalt's cordless and corded random orbit sanders. This is the DCW210. This is the DWE6423. As far as I know, at the time of filming this, 2025, these are still the models they sell as their kind of baseline sander. As of this time in 2025, you're going to find this most likely in kits. I bought this in a kit with the 2 amp hour battery and a charger for $120 or so after tax. It may be a little more now, I'm not entirely sure, but that's what I paid. I bought this multiple years ago for $50. It is no longer $50. It's like $70, $80, $90 that you may be able to find it on sale at some point for closer to the $50, $60 range. It simply has gone up a lot in price. Whenever someone is getting into woodworking or tools, or even just kind of taking a little step up and they want their first random orbit sander, I always give the same advice. The corded DeWalt random orbit sander. I still think this is the standard bearer of kind of the mid-high quality tier random orbit sanders. It's not a Festool, it's not a Mirka. There are better ones, there are more expensive ones, but even at the $70, $80, $90 range, I still think this reigns supreme for numerous reasons. But I want to talk about what I like and dislike about each of those in case you are deciding between one or the other. I want to go down a list of what matters to me with a random orbit sander and give a take on each of these. The first is comfort. How does it feel in my hand? Now, one of the interesting things is that from afar, they look pretty similar, but there's actually a noticeable difference in the width and the length here on how it feels with your hand. If you were to actually measure them, they're not really all that different. But this one is narrower and longer, and it allows your pinky to wrap around the end here and your thumb to kind of wrap down the side. This guy allows the thumb to wrap down the side, but it now places your pinky in more of like a holding a baseball, if you have small hands, kind of grip. I guess that's how I would describe it. It doesn't allow for that wrapping under, and I like the feel of this in the hand much more. It's similar, but it's enough of a difference that it took me a little while to get used to it. And when I bought this one, I kind of bought it partly because I wanted it to just be this exact thing with batteries instead of a cord. It's close, but not quite. Comfort also involves a few things more than just how it fits in the hand. How much does it try to walk away from you? This guy likes to walk a little more than this guy does. Part of why I recommend this is it is so stable. You could have just kind of a bare finger on this guy and it's not going to run off. This guy does want to walk a little bit, though I think it may be due to the weight balance perhaps and not necessarily the sander itself. I can't quite figure it out, but it pulls just a little more than this guy. But when you feel it, even though they're not that far off in weight, you can certainly feel that the weight falls back off onto that side and it likes to pull slightly that way. So that's my theory. So this guy wins certainly in its ability to kind of walk off, I call it.
We can see here with a full battery charge, we're going to look at how it runs a little bit around. You can see it wants to spin a bit and pull in one direction if we do allow the hand to come off the full grip here. While not anything serious or problematic, it certainly is a little different to get used to and not quite like the corded random orbit sander. We can get a little look right here at the amount of dust left around. Now this was just some 220 grit, pretty light sanding. I'm not taking off a ton of material here. Yet we can see a significant amount off and around the board. It wasn't that large of a board, anything like that, but that's a fair bit of dust. Moving over to the corded version, you can see much less run with just barely any pressure on top. I'm holding on with essentially a single finger right there. It still will obviously move a little bit on its own, but barely any pressure is required. You can even hold it by the cord if you wanted to do so to allow the sander's weight to be the only thing applying very little run compared to the cordless version. In comparison, we see almost no dust from the corded sander. Now, again, I don't know if that is because there's more material being removed or because the dust collection is somehow better, but it's significantly less on the corded version.
Vibration-wise, they're both very similar just in terms of in your hand. There's not a big difference there. The little extra weight kind of gives this one a little less vibration, but it's also a little extra weight. Like I said, there's not a significant difference. If I had to hold both of these all day, I wouldn't come home with one hand feeling significantly more worn out than the other one. I'd only even notice the difference because of the hand feel of the size. If you were to hand them to me separately, they're fine. One of the issues, though, with a weight balance and walking away from me is that I sand a lot of things that aren't as wide or wider than the disc itself. On a very large board, this isn't really the biggest issue in the world, but on something narrower like a box side, it gets a little squirrely. I built a lot of boxes in this side, somewhere between 3 and 4 inches, so we're not quite getting full coverage there. Now you have to be careful when you're doing sanding on a box not to round over the edges, or it'll very quickly look like you put a round over on it. With this guy, it doesn't want to walk a whole lot, so it's very easy to control across. This one is a little more difficult, and you have to kind of get a technique. And once you know it's going to happen, it's very easy to kind of counterbalance the other way. But at first, it was a little surprising at it wanting to pull a little more. However, I do still use it on the boxes. I've gotten used to it. It's not a big enough problem that I've had to go get another sander or ditch it and go back to this guy, though I still have this in case I ever need it.
With the corded version, we have great control on top of this small surface, no real problems whatsoever for something smaller than the disc size. With the corded version, however, you can see much more kind of run or movement, and you have to work a little harder and know a bit of technique to keep it on top of a surface that is smaller than the disc itself.
While we're on the topic of small things, this guy does add to a little bit of awkwardness in the balance. You're coming in here and you can just kind of feel this little guy over here. This guy, it's nice and right behind. It's down in a line. The center of gravity here is just straight down the middle. This guy, it's kind of more off to the side down here. So it's a little more kind of, you have to deal with holding the weight in the correct direction, or else it's going to walk, I think, because of where the kind of center of gravity is for the tool. The next 3 things on the list all involve it actually performing its job. Material removal, dust collection, and power. How much material does it remove? Does it remove it evenly? Those sorts of things. So let's talk about this a little bit. I just based purely on anecdotal using it evidence. I didn't measure, I didn't collect all the dust. I think this removes more dust than this does in the same amount of time. Or I should say removes more wood material. It's creating dust. It's not removing it. It's leaving some behind. Oddly enough, these are very similar. I opened it up a little bit and took a look. They're very similar, but this one collects dust a lot better than this guy does. And I don't know if it's because it seemingly removes material faster, and therefore with no vacuum, there's just going to be more that doesn't get pulled up and in there. I use the mesh disc, so it's not like it's plugged up. This guy, dust collection, I'd say 6.5 out of 10. You're gonna need a mask. You're gonna need some kind of vacuum, something like that, if you don't want to wear a mask. This guy, it's more like a 4 out of 10. I will be doing a board and I will have a perimeter of dust around the entire thing, but it will also be full. It still collects dust, just not that much of it. This one still collects dust, just not a whole lot of it, but more than this guy. In terms of power, and this could be totally in my mind, it feels like this removes material faster and that I make it over the surface of a board quicker. Now, I don't have proof of that. I don't know how to measure literal strength of sanders, but just take it as it is, as anecdotal, that I do believe this finishes the job faster than this guy does, though the difference is not significant. You're not going to save an hour. Well, maybe if the project was large enough, but you're not going to save an hour by buying this guy instead of this guy just for the material removal time. Speaking of power, and this is a very key point, this thing chews through these 2 amp hour batteries. I didn't have any other DeWalt batteries. I just had the kit and the one that came with it. And I still haven't bought any, but I really need to. Every single project, I have to stop, charge this thing, come back, sand, stop, charge. I mean, I don't know if I'm getting even a half hour of sanding. Maybe some of that, maybe it's longer than that in my mind. But after coming from a corded where there is no charging, you just have to pay your power bill. This guy just chews through these 2 amp hour batteries. So if you are going to buy this and you do not have any other DeWalt batteries and you have a large project like a dining table or something, consider buying either another 2 amp hour or perhaps the Power Stack 5 amp hour, something like that. That still may work well. Obviously, we have to consider the balance on this, which is kind of part of the trade-off. If you want a bigger battery, it's going to add a little more weight. But something like the Power Stack 5 amp hour or another 2 or 4 amp hour battery, I think is a great thing to have. You will get annoyed quite quickly when you realize you need to go charge the battery and you're not that far along in your sanding. Now, both of these are your standard 5-inch, so they work with all the sanding discs you're going to find at Home Depot, the 3M. It's the basic standard size. But there was one issue with this guy, and I don't want to say it's every one of these. It may have just been the one I got. But the sanding pad that came with it had a noticeable kind of bump and firmness in the middle. And I quickly noticed that it was sanding mostly in the middle here and only a little bit on the outside. I eventually got a little annoyed and I was about to order a replacement pad, but I decided, what if I just take the one off of this guy and swap it onto here? It works better. So it may just be the one I got, and it may just be the pad I got. The pad I stole off of here, which is very similar, not exactly identical, but swaps easily, does seem to work fine. You may even be able to see here, this is the pad that was originally on that. All the dust buildup in the middle and less of it up here. I hope you can see here the dispersal of the dust. Remember, I swapped these pads. This is the one that came with the batteried sander. We can see how kind of uniform the dust in the hook and mesh is. Now this is older, but it's still uniform. This is the one that came with this one. Whereas this one here, you can see this clear center area that is raised above, and you can quite literally feel it. And at first I thought perhaps it was something with the design of the sander, but I think it's something with this pad. So you may have to find a replacement if you buy this and this happens. It works much better if you can get a pad that is nice and flat. You don't burn through the middle of the sandpaper. Every sanding disc was like that. It would burn out the middle before it would get to the rest of it, and you either had to kind of give it some pressure down one way or the other, or just accept that you had to toss out the pad when the middle was gone, but the outside wasn't. If you do have this sander though, and you've experienced that issue, please put it down in the comments, because I would like to know, is that a flaw in the design, or did I just get unlucky? Noise-wise and vibration-wise, not a big difference. Neither of these are quiet, neither of them are extremely loud. You could get away not having hearing protection, but you're going to want hearing protection after a few minutes. These aren't things you could use in a quiet household if there's a young child sleeping, but they're nowhere near the loudest tool you'll likely have. This one vibrates a little less just in terms of the hand feeling, but I think it's probably due to the kind of area the weight is centered around. This one vibrates some. It's not bad. Neither of these are concerning in their vibration. They offer good control, with this one being slightly better, and neither of them are extremely loud. They're just kind of power tool loud. One other thing I like in tools that I buy is the ability to find replacement parts in case I need anything. I've had to do some belt changes on this guy, and they look very similar internally. They may use the identical belt, which is great because I have some already, but you can find replacement parts for these pretty easily. Now you can obviously DeWalt warranty it, but if you're 5 years down the road and you got to fix something, I love that you can access OEM parts or even some kind of secondary manufacturer parts for these, like replacement pads. Though the one big difference is the obvious one. You are bound to an outlet. You are bound to a battery, but to no physical area. If you were trying to decide between the two, and you'd prefer to spend a little less money, and you're in a wood shop where you have outlets or extension cords around, this is going to be perfectly fine for you. You don't need to deal with buying extra batteries. If you already have a bunch of the batteries, then maybe the kind of proposition of cost gets a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about recharging and swapping out batteries all the time and therefore having to buy an extra battery. But I still think this is the king of kind of mid-high tier quality random orbit sanders, and absolutely worth it if you don't have to worry about the cord. If, however, though, you are going to be up and around or kind of in and under a project, when this is plugged in, it does get in the way a little bit. And of course, it's not a short cord, but it's not the longest in the world. So you have limited range unless you have an extension cord of some sort. Though I fully understand why. I assume most people who use this are using it within a 6-ish foot area of an outlet. So acceptable. I just kind of wanted to get into the DeWalt line, and I like the idea of not being bound. I've only used twice a time where I was using it somewhere that I didn't have access to an outlet, so I'll probably go 30 years and never actually use it more than 10 times at a place where I couldn't have just plugged this guy in. But I really like not having to kind of deal with the cord in general. You get a trade-off though, of course, right? The little bit of walks a little more, the balance is not quite as good. And with this guy, you have none of those problems, but you have this cord in the way. There were a few times where I almost tripped walking through here because I had my sander out. I don't have to deal with that anymore. So the biggest decision between the two of these is simply going to come down to, do you have a reason to not want a cord? And do you have an extra battery already, or are you willing to pay more to get a second battery? If we include the cost of, let's say, the 5 amp hour power stack, which I believe a lot of people use on this, it's like an extra $80. You're suddenly looking at a $200 sander versus a $70, $80, $90 sander. Twice the price for that. But of course, now you have another battery for other DeWalt tools. That's the nice thing, right? These batteries can be applied to any different DeWalt tools, so there is versatility. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Like I said, still the king of kind of high mid-tier entry quality level random orbit sanders, and I will stand by that until DeWalt makes a new model, and perhaps it'll be better. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Bye.